In this episode we are continuing on with how to build a fence like a pro. In the first video we built the 7 metre fence around the front, and in this video we're going to be building the 17 metre fence around the back garden. And also we've got some friends that came back.
See ya!
So this is the MX Fuel Milwaukee breaker. Now this is extreme overkill for removing these posts. This thing is designed for breaking up concrete, boulders, roads. It is an absolute machine. This is an MX Fuel battery. It is absolutely huge. It is bigger than my head. So what I'm going to basically use this for is just get in about the ground, and I'm going to try and break up the concrete around this post, and we'll try and slip out the post, because you'll see our blue marks on the floor. That is where our new posts are going. So all we need to do is remove these, and then we can dig our new holes. So here goes. Piece of cake, pal. We have done the hard part. We have dug all the holes, removed all the existing fences. Now what we're going to do is we're just really going to quickly put all the posts in using the same method we used in part 1. So if you haven't already seen that, why are you watching part 2 if you're watching part 1? Basically, string, bit of wood all the way along, and we're going to make sure they're all in line.
Tell you something, this post is going nowhere. Sit. Oh my goodness. Missy been good behaved.
Right, so as promised, I'm going to go into a bit of detail here and break down everything you need to build your own fence at home. This is to help out people that are just starting out, or if you're a DIYer, or even if you've been doing this for many years. This is the method that I use and I have used for years. Let's get straight into it. 17 metre fence is the example I'm going to use, because that is the size of fence that we are building, and this is how I start. The first thing we're going to need when building a fence is the posts. Alright, and how you work out your post is you take 17 metres in your calculator and you divide that by 1.8. Now that's going to give you 9.444. Now I would just round up to 10. And remember, in building, 0 is a number, and that's where you're going to be your starting point. So we'll just write 10. So once you've got your posts, obviously you're going to want to have them secured in the ground, so you're going to need some post mix. Now I'm just using post mix as an example. Obviously you can use sand and cement, but post mix in this day and age is what you're probably going to use. Now I use 2 bags of post mix per post, so that one's nice and easy. You're going to have 20 bags of post mix. And once you've got your posts in the ground, you just go through the process. You're going to start off with your rails, and it's very easy to work out your rails. You basically just take the full size of your fence, which is 17 metres, and the rails come at 3.6, alright, so you divide that by 3.6, then that's going to give you 4.77. We'll round that up to 5 just for this example. Now if you've got 5 rails, that's only going to give you 1 length of rail. In this example we're doing a 6 feet fence where we're going to have 3 rails going along the post, so we're going to times that by 3, and that's going to give you 15. So we're going to have 15 rails. And once you've got your rails on, it's really easy after that. All you've got to do is your slats. Now this is where everybody gets it wrong with their slats, and it's quite hard to work out, but this is the method I use. So if you take 17 metres, and what you're going to do is divide that by 0.119, and how I got that number is the slat is 100mm wide, and obviously we're going to have a 19mm gap between every single slat. hit equals, and that's going to give you 142. Now I would round that up to 150, and the reason why I would round it up is sometimes when you're getting a big slat delivery, you might get the odd one or two that are going to be a bit rotted and a bit grubby, so you obviously want to pick the slats that are most aesthetically pleasing, and as well as that, if any get damaged or whatever, that's what you would go for. So in this case we're going to go for 150. So I hope that helps in how to work out materials for a fence, and let's get back to building one. 75, then add 15, it would be 165. 765, sorry. While we're putting these rail on, guys, we thought this would be a great time to tell you how me and John became pals.
Aye, so to begin with, Chris was coming down to Greenock, we had a project on.
And John's bird slid into my DMs.
Yeah,
Let's be honest, John's bird messaged me, kid on that completely out of context.
Says to me that, that says to me that you were coming to Greenock and I was going to message you, but
she messaged me first.
Aye, she knew that I was just talking shit and I wouldn't have done it.
Wait, her name's May?
Yeah.
Me.
We call her Mia?
Everybody does, everybody calls that either Mai or Mia, but it's me.
Right in the DMs. Jodie was going to do you.
She reached out and messaged you, what did she actually say?
John's the biggest fan, and can he come hang about you? And I said, sure, who's John? And that was pretty much
love
it.
at first sight.
John is absolutely smashing it. John, tell everybody, plug your business, what do you do?
Property renovation, so bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, fencing, decking, a bit of anything, front door to back door, a wee bit of multi-trade.
How interesting. And he's only 21, ladies and gentlemen, 21 years old. So that's the story of where John came from.
So we found the message from May, John's girlfriend. So she said, "Hiya, a bit of a random message, but if you don't ask, you don't get. My partner watches you religiously, he's in the same line of work, and also took the step to go solo a few months ago instead of working underneath someone. We stay in Greenock and just wanted to ask you if it would be possible if John could meet up with you one of the days if you needed an extra hand with any work. You honestly wouldn't regret it, you guys are so similar and I know you would get on amazingly. I'm messaging you as I'd love to be the bearer of good news as it's his 21st soon and I know he'd appreciate me going out of the way for him to get the opportunity for him. If you need any pictures of anything in his work, just let me know. Thanks in advance." She left her number. So we get back to her and asked her a few questions and phoned her. I just think, how amazing is that? Like, he was probably talking about it and thinking about it like, oh, that's something that I would love to do. And she's been like, well, do you know what, I'm going to go out my way for you and actually do something that will benefit you. So get yourself a good girlfriend. Oh, what you got? Oh my goodness. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me a toy. Give it to me. Give it to me.
See, when I was an apprentice, I had this tradeswoman I worked with, Robin, shout out Robin, she's for Sea Milk, Castle Milk. And there was this video going about on Scottish Vine at the time, and it was this person talking about their experience in Barlinnie prison. And halfway through the video, he's explaining how he has his lunch, how he has his dinner, and it's a really funny video if you get Scottish humour. It's on Scottish Vine, and at the end of it, he shouts, "There's John!" So every single time you see John in the video, you need to comment, "There's John!" And that's my story. Shout out to Robin.
I had a free bunker. There's John! There's John!
With some real shot. Funny fact, when I wrote down how many metres this fence was, it was 17 metres, but I wrote my 7 so bad that I thought it was 12 and worked out the materials for a 12 metre fence. So.
Wait, it was your own writing?
Yeah, it was my own writing, that's how bad my writing is.
I thought it was somebody in the office wrote it down wrong.
No, I just blamed them in MGM. Obviously it's Sean's fault. But I'll admit on here it was my fault. I worked out the materials for a 12 metre fence because my writing was so bad. It's alright, sorry Sean. I gave you a hard time the other day. So I've started putting all the slats on now. How we put our slats on is basically we go 150mm above our top rail and we put a mark. We then put our first slat on, plumb it down, and we do the exact same way down at the other side of the fence. Then we attach a string line to the very top, and again do the same down the other, and that's going to give you your height all the way along your fence. Then this is my cheat code for everybody. This is the straightest slat you can find in the pile. Put a nail in here, and that is going to act as a hook, right? So when we come to put this on, that goes on the top rail there. We can get our next slat. Put it up. That's going to give us our nice space because we're using a slat on this side. Nail it off. And repeat the process 150 times. Every 6 slats, I would recommend plumbing it down and just double checking that you're nice and plumb, because you can minor adjust it as you go, opposed to getting to the end and it just looks ski whiff. So that's my top tip when it comes to fencing. If you've got a whole load to do, use a nail in the side of the wood, hook it on, jobs are good. This has to be my favourite part of the fence. We always say this is the reward of the fence, because you've dug all the holes, you've put the posts in, you've broke your back, you've put the rails on, which are big long limbs. Now you get to stand here with the tunes on, the fire's on, and nail away to sundown. It's my favourite part. There was a time when I was poor, never had a nail gun, and did this with a hammer and nails in hand. I had blisters all over my hands. And then I got a screw gun, and that was even worse, because all the screws, when you were holding the screw, it would tear up your fingers. Even wearing gloves, the gloves would get caught in the screw. Nail guns are the way forward. Although I wouldn't want to have one of the air compressed nail guns. I think they'd be so annoying. I think they'd be rapid, firing away, but I think they would be so frustrating to use with that big hose and the generator. Don't get me wrong, battery powered nail guns do have their weaknesses as well. This is really heavy, but the way I see it, I'm working on the guns for the summer. Yeah, I'm going to call it for tonight. I've got about 3 metres done of the slatting. Got another, I'd say 10 going that way, and probably another 5 going this way. But silly me, as I said previously, I worked out the materials for a 12 metre fence instead of a 17 metre fence. No need to worry, I just need to get 1, 2, 3, 4 more rails in the morning, whack them on, put the rest of the slats on, and cut all the posts. See you in the morning.
Hello! Hello everybody! She's like, bye.
Right, we've just got the fence to finish. Hopefully we should be done this by about lunchtime. I need to go pick up the remainder of the rails that I miscalculated, oopsies, and Jodie's going to finish off this slatting. So she's going to go right along this way, and then when I come back, I'll go right along that way, and all we need to do is then cut the posts, and we're done. Can enjoy our weekend, and that's us. Enjoy slatting. See you later, bruh. That was so gay. Let's go. This is the last stretch of fence to slat. It's only like a metre long, probably just over a metre, maybe 1.5 metres, and it is an absolute nightmare. It's driving me up the wall because I'm having to have a fight with this big tree, and I've got like the wee pines of the tree tickling my back, then my butt crack, and it's horrible. Aye, I thought it would be funny if you used to watch and laugh at me as I struggle and fight with this tree. Here we go. Right, let's see the condition I need to get into. Right, so we're in the tree. Pew! Oh, stick up the butt. It's getting much easier now that I'm getting further along. Come on. It's such an ab core workout because I'm having to keep my tummy tight. To get in and hold the tree back. I'm going to be finding the pines off of that bloody tree in places I don't want to find them for about a week probably. See, when I first started my working career, someone gave me a bit of advice and it stuck with me, is if you were ever asked to make a cup of tea for somebody, make the worst cup of tea possible and they'll never ask you to do it again. Well, I think Jodie's took that approach when it came to painting the fence posts. We are so lucky that this is our own garden. I told her to paint them 2 feet below the ground, not 2 feet above the ground. So Jodie, what have you got to say for yourself? We're on the home stretch now. All the last thing to do is cut these posts all to the same height so it looks uniform right the way along, and then we're going to slap some treatment on the top. I've cut this one already and we're cutting it at a slight angle. It doesn't need to be much, doesn't need to be Everest or anything like that, literally just like 1 or 2 degrees so that the water runs off the top of the posts, and then just make sure you put your sealer on the top. Do you make sure you wear your defenders? And I'm using the Milwaukee M18 fuel recip. So if you're doing this as well, make sure you've got a fresh blade, because try to do this with a blunt blade, so I just always buy a packet and just wire through them. Let's go, we've got 12 to cut. Well, thank you very much for making it to the end of this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed part 1 and part 2. Now, fences to me have a really special place in my heart, as cringy and as cliche as it is. When I started my business and started my apprenticeship, it was the easiest thing that I knew that I could do and get out there on my own, and it really built up the confidence that I needed to grow this business that I've got, and I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that came from it. So if you're thinking about getting out there and getting started, or even wanting to tackle your own fence in your own garden, don't be put off by the tools that we're using. You don't need all the big fancy nail guns and breakers and everything else. You can literally get started with a shovel, hammer and saw. So thanks very much for watching this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and also leave a like. See you in the next video.